So my first trip to Israel was shortly after my 13th birthday. My dad was working for an Israeli company, and he hired a guide and driver to take us on touring while he was working. This was March of 1974. I'll remind you that the Yom Kippur War had been in October of 1973. So the reason that's important is we were driving up to see the Golan Heights, and as we're getting closer, suddenly we hear in the distance, boom, 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 and the driver turns around, looks at my mother, who's in the back seat with my brother and I, and says, "Oh, don't worry about it, there's just some shelling today." We're looking at each other, kind of nervous, and then we drive another few hundred meters, and there's a roadblock, and the soldiers are telling us we should turn around and go back. The road is closed. The guy turns around to my mom and says, "It's okay. I know the commander at the base here. We can go to the base. You could visit. You could learn about what's going on. It'll be great." And my mother screams at him to please turn the car around. We are not going to the base. Let's go. And he kept trying to convince us that it was safe. It's really not a problem. As we're hearing in the distance, boom, 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 boom. And my mother finally just puts her foot down and says, "Turn the car around. We're leaving now." And it was a really interesting moment when I look back at that, realizing the difference between the Israeli attitude toward a little shelling and us spoiled Americans who are not used to having our homes and our places where we live and walk and drive come under shelling. And it was a very profound moment because the driver really thought this was no big deal, and we were petrified.